Okay, I gave you a link, the imathas.com stattoolsboxplot.html, and if we go there, this is what it'll look like. And what I want to do is start off and tell it right away I want 2 box plots, because I want one for the length and one for the width. You'll want one for each of your data, each of your variables, so you'll need 2 as well. The first box plot I will title nasal length, because that's what it's giving me. And then I just am going to type in my 5-number summary. So 493, 615.5, 677. Okay, I've typed in all my 5-number summary for the nasal length, and I have box plot 2 title. That's because I changed the number of box plots up here to 2, so it's giving me 2 different sets. The second one will be my nasal width. And once I type in the title, then I can type in my 5-number summary. And I'm just using tab to go between each of the fields. It's pretty easy to manipulate. Now, this is the part where it gets just slightly tricky, but we can manage this. It's asking for the overall min and the overall max. So what it's saying is look at both of these numbers and find which one's smaller, and then find a nice nearby number that you want to use for your starting tick mark. I don't want to start I see the 189 is smaller, but I don't want to start my tick mark at 189. It's a weird number. I'd rather start it at like 100, 150, 175, or something like that. So I think I'll go with this one. I'll go with 150. And then overall max, it's asking you to look at both of these maximums, see which one's bigger, and that 864 is definitely bigger. And since I went with multiples of 50 for this minimum, I want to do the same for my maximum. It's going to make things look better. So instead of 860, I could go 850, but that's not big enough. So I will go to 900. And then again, because these are both multiples of 50, I might put my distance between tick marks to be 50. And that way I don't have like tons of little tick marks all the way, even though you'll see this will be a lot of tick marks. My axis title, if you have the same units on both of your variables, then you can put those units here. Mine, I think, is millimeters. And if you had something, I'm going to capitalize it too because it'll be a title. And if you had millimeters for one and yards for the other, you might just put it like that. Mine is the same units, so I'm just going to have them like this. And then display numbers on the box plot, just leave this alone, the 550 to 200. That's how big the plot is when it gets made. And so just leave it at the defaults. And then when you've got all of this data filled in, go ahead and click draw here, and it's drawing for me. I think this is also very beautiful. It's drawing for me the nasal length box plot and the nasal width box plot, and it has put them on the same scale so that I can see my nasal widths, which is this distance, are much smaller than the lengths, which are this distance. That doesn't really surprise me.